Hello, sports fans. Welcome to another edition of VetsPlusSports.com. This is your host, Terrell Cool Beans Davis, along with my co host, Mr. James Miller.
Hello, everyone. How y'all doing out there? How you doing this Friday morning? Yes, we said Friday morning. This is a little different than our Saturday nights, but we're glad to be on here and hope y'all enjoy this. But before we get started diving into this series or segment of this podcast, I'll let Cool Beans do a shout out.
All right. We would like to send a shout out to all those that are watching the live and those that will catch the replay. We also want to send out a shout out to the people that have been listening to the audio. We got our friends, good friends over there in Brussels, Belgium. Thanks for listening. Grenzak Weil in Germany. Thanks for listening. I've got it now. I'm a pro now at it. We got Ashburn, Virginia for listening. San Jose, California. Boardman, Washington. We like to thank all our listeners around the world for listening to us.
Yeah, we appreciate it and thank each and every one of you all. And those hoping we can get the local listeners start picking up a little more, but we thank and appreciate each and every one. And I guess we'll get started with this. And with the biggest thing going on right now, I get it would be the 24 Olympics that's going on. And the thing is, right now we get to our medal count, and the United States is killing it as far as total medals right now with 40 total medals, and the next one behind is France with 29. The United States has got 9 gold right now, 17 silver, and 14 bronze. Now China is leading in the gold with 12, but they've only got 26 total. But France is doing they're the next one to them. They got 8 gold, 11 silver, and 10 bronze for a total of 29 medals as of right now. So United States is doing good as the medal count goes, and everybody's watching, to see if the basketball, and it's looking now. I it's looking now like the men's basketball team may end up competing now for that gold.
Right, I know, because South Sudan during that exhibition game, they only beat them by one. It's like, we playing with these boys. Let's just play with these boys or something, because they got them in the when the game actually counted, they got them.
And then, the other day when now the men's when they beat South Sudan, and me and you talked about that. That could be something. But that game there was close for a little bit
Hmm.
to start out. But United States pulled off 103-86, and everything. But I like to see how many players from that roster of South Sudan ends up on the NBA roster somewhere,
I know, right?
because that's going to be something. And then yesterday, the women's knocked off Belgium 87-74. And then you had France knocking off Nigeria 75-54. Um, Australia beat Canada 70-65. Now, this is in women's. And then Germany knocked off Japan 75-64. So now we're waiting tomorrow, August the 3rd. You starting out. Who got scheduled is you got China and Puerto Rico. And now this is in the women's in the morning at 5. China and Puerto Rico at 5 o'clock in the morning. And the women's Serbia and Spain at 7:30. And then we get to the men's group. You got Puerto Rico and the United States, which I think the United States will win that pretty easily.
I think so.
And that's at 11:15. And then at 3 o'clock tomorrow in the men's, you got Serbia and South Sudan.
That one's gonna be a tough one right there.
That is, you got that's going to be. I say South. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
I
I
know
think,
it's hard to go against Joker, and it's like I don't know. South Sudan look like they're gonna take it.
yeah. So we'll just have to see. That should be a good one. And has how many games has Siberia lost? One.
Yeah, they're both of them are 1-1,
So
but
this will be the knockout game.
yep,
So and if I'm not mistaken, Serbia lost to the United States, didn't they?
yeah. In fact, both of them their losses, both of them lost to the United States. That's what their one loss is.
So and then August 4th, moving on, you've got the women's play at 5 o'clock Eastern time here in the United States. You've got Japan and Belgium. You've got Canada and Nigeria, and then you've got at 11:15. You got Germany in the United States. That could be pretty
Hmm.
good one there. And then at 3 o'clock on the 4th, you've got Australia and France in the women's bracket. And then you move on later on till August 6th with the quarterfinals and stuff when everybody uh, moves on to that. But as the basketball goes, that's where we're at right now. The men's in soccer was losing just a second ago, 3-0 to Morocco. I think that's how you say it.
Morocco, yeah.
And I don't think they're going to win that. So they're in the quarterfinals now. So that'll be it. They'll lose that game because that's going to be hard to come back from 3 goals down
Here's
three
one thing
nothing.
I don't understand. I don't know how they're doing this basketball. I don't know how they're scoring it up because one, now what am I trying to say? Greece got eliminated. Greece lost both their games, and they said they were eliminated. How is Puerto Rico still in it, and they lost 2 games?
Well, you still finish your pool play or whatever the game scheduled.
Oh, okay.
Um, I know this from years ago when I coached little league during All Stars. Um, See it change from year to year. One year they may have pool play. The next year it may just be double elimination. The thing is with our region where we was at here, I hated the pool play because they never let you know how many teams they were taking. You did not know. So um, if you had one or two losses, if you wasn't making it, and as far as baseball goes, you've got pitching strategies, you've got your pitch counts, and the pool play. We didn't know. I don't know if we're there. They know. You lose 2 games, you're out. When it came to baseball, I mean, you didn't know until after the pool play who they were taking.
Right.
So, or how many teams they were taking. At least they didn't tell us. We tried to find out, and they wouldn't tell us.
Mm.
So that made it a little tougher as far as coaching strategies and everything else. And I don't know why they didn't. They should have let everybody know, hey, this is how many teams you're taking, and then that way you could do your schedule your pitchers and stuff, watch pitch count. But that was with Little League All Stars. That's been years ago. Well, that one year we had pool play. One year we didn't have pool play. So that pool play is a little different. You still got scheduled games. You still finish them out. So that's what you got right there with the pool play. So when they go to the quarterfinals, they're not moving on.
Right.
So and then like South Sudan, and Serbia, whoever loses that, they're out.
Yeah, that'll be whoever loses that won't advance. And it's like that's why I was like, why is the US even playing Puerto Rico and playing Puerto Rico not even gonna be in it?
And since we're talking about the Olympics, what'd you say her name was? Ledecky.
Yes, for the
Le-
US.
Ledecky. She won another gold the other day, and I think she's back at it again today. They said now she is the most decorative for, I guess I'm assuming women's swimming, or I don't know if it's women's altogether in the Olympics, but she's the most decorative as far as medals now.
Yep. And while we talking about women's sports in the Olympics, I found out something last night that I didn't even know. It was last night when I watched because I watched the game when Belgium lost to the U.S. that was a tight game at first. I mean, the first quarter ended, it was 23-23, and it was like, I was like, these Belgian players are pretty good. But there was one woman on I was like, because you can see it all over the men's. Like France got NBA players, Canada got NBA players. I didn't know Belgium has one that plays in the WNBA.
Oh, I
And
did not know that.
I didn't know that. I found out last night, and I cannot remember her name. It began with a D. It's like Donna or something. But she was killing them in threes. It's like when she was in the game, they would kind of be in it. She go to the bench, it's over.
I'm getting ready to find out for you, maybe.
Yeah, I was looking at it. I was like, oh my goodness, I forget I think her number was 11.
I'm trying to pull it up. I'll go to my phone because it does better than this computer because it'll
Right.
direct bring it up. But yeah, I did not know either that they had any on the team because NBA's got all kinds of
Yep.
players from other countries playing. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, because I thought was it Canada? Canada's got 10 NBA players,
10 out of 12.
but but
Like,
that's our neighbors to the north, so you can expect that.
yep.
So that shouldn't be no surprise there. But some of these other teams, man, that has a lot. And
France
some of
has four. Greece had four or five. Uh, Josh Giddey for the well, I think he got traded. He don't think play in OKC anymore. I don't. I think he got traded, but we'll just go count him as OKC because that's where he was. He's plays for Australia.
wow. Now what was man? They've got man. I need to change this. 'Cause it gave me a
Gave you a recipe for Belgian waffles. You Google it will do that to you
well,
sometimes. It'll throw you off with something.
you said her number is Emma, number 11.
I thought it was 11. I couldn't remember.
Uh, I've got the roster here. You said number 11. That'd be Emma, and I think that looks familiar as far as um as far as the name goes. Was I mean I done a fantasy league for the women's NBA,
Hmm.
and that name kind of pops out to me.
Oh, okay. Cool beans.
So, but it's not. It's just showing their whole roster. But yeah, you got a lot, and that's like I was going to say. A lot of your NBA players, your stars now, is from other countries. Uh, you look at Luca, you look at the Joker. I mean, that's your big stars in the NBA now
Hmm.
is from other countries. So there's a lot of talent over from other seas and but you got to think though. I think we talked about. I mean, we mentioned it in the earlier or other podcasts. With you got Luca, he was playing against grown men at 13 years old.
Yeah.
So that's why when you see them come over to this country, they're like I can say you're more ready for the NBA or they're more matured than our kids are over here because that's what they've been playing against for years, through 2 or 3 years prior to getting here. They're playing against grown men. So there's talent it's in these other countries, which these other countries, what people don't realize, especially being in the military, you'll know these people in other countries, you got to grow up a lot quicker than you do here.
Yeah, that's true.
So I mean, it's just the way the culture is, the way the life is, lifestyle. Um, you got to grow up a lot quicker, and you could see that when you see it in sports when they come from other countries to come to play. Even in baseball, when you see them from other countries in Major League Baseball, it's just total different. I mean, you see them from the Dominican, the Puerto Rico, and all these other countries, Venezuela, and these kids, I mean, they're more mature than the kids mainly around the same age in this country here.
Right. Yeah.
But the Olympics is still going on. I'm trying to keep up with some of it, much as I can. Which well, I ain't gonna say have more time. I'm not working. Got a little boy to take care of once my wife goes back to work here in a week or so. But I've got I'm not working, so for a couple well 2 months, so I'll have time to watch sports if he'll allow me. But everything, but keep up with these Olympics and everything else that's going on as of right now. And so, speaking of, you think the men's basketball now will pull off the gold?
Men's basketball, I think, probably can pull off the goal. Only there was two X factors I had in there. I had South Sudan because they originally lost it. I mean, won that exhibition by only 1 point, and only won because of a couple of seconds they got back into it and took the lead. So, but they proved they got over the South Sudan hurdle. However, it maybe have to face them again. And two, Canada. Canada got 10 people from the NBA, 10 people that have played against these US guys. They already know them.
They, I think now, let's see, since Greece is out now, right?
Yeah, Greece is out.
Greece was our pick to give them a shot for their money,
Yep.
and they're out. The teams that were looking, and France barely got by the other day. So, and France was a pick to not to beat USA. Um, so we will see. I think now, seeing it as it unfold, I think they can pull the gold off along with the women's.
Yep.
Um, we'll see. They're looking both looking they're looking better.
The women
USA
still got their streak. They've won like 59, 58. They've gone on. They haven't lost in 58, 59 games. So Olympic games. So they got a streak going, and they continued that streak last night. Which I want to give a shout out to Brianna Stewart because she had a great game that game, and was like the announcer said they call her Stewie, and I was like, oh yep, she looks like Stewie. But great game.
So I'm trying to see what to see. It's not showing. I don't know why. I was trying to see when the last time, which I mean, I hadn't kept up a whole lot over the years with the Olympics, but I was trying to see when the last time did the men's win gold last go around?
Yes, they
Did
went.
they?
I think the men's have been on a goal streak lately. I think because I remember I think LeBron's first year was 2008, and that was when they got that bronze.
Did he not? Did he not get? Let's see. Yeah, 2008. Yeah, it would be 2008.
And that was been the year they got bronze. But ever since that, they had that bronze, and ever since that, they just been gold ever since.
So okay, and then the women's got a right now. The women's seeking 8 straight Olympics gold. They've got 7 straight now, and the women's are seeking their 8. And I think the women's and the men's will both pull it off this year with gold. Uh, Now at the start of it for the men's, I didn't think so. Way it was, but the way it's unfolded and everything, and the Greece getting knocked off with the Greek Freak and
Hmm.
everything else. So that I think it kind of opens it up more for US to make another run at it. But moving right along here. Now I'll touch up a little bit. I'll get it pulled back up here a little bit about on baseball and the MLB. Um, just like anything else, when it comes to sports and everything, especially with football, you always time to look at it as
Right.
injuries. injuries, and well, Mike Trout, one of your good baseball players and plays with I guess he still plays with Anaheim, the Angels. Anyway, he is out for the season with the meniscus tear.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and so he's their center fielder. He's a great ball player, so he's out for the season. Um, it's unfortunate to have that, and it's just like the Braves losing their best player earlier. Um,
Yeah, they
and
lost them like what, about a month or 2 months
no,
after they started.
that's it. Yeah, they did, and it's a showing too because they keep falling. They keep falling in the standings and everything else. Um, so that's not. When I seen him go down, I knew it was going to take a toll on him. But I'll run over some scores from yesterday. The Braves beat the Marlins 4-2. Guardians beat the Orioles 10-3. Um, the Royals beat the Tigers 7-1. You've got the Cubs beating the Cardinals 5-4, and the Rockies beating the Angels 5-4. um, Today, August the 2nd, which is Friday, the games that are slated for today is you got the Braves and the Marlins. The Marlins will be going to Atlanta at 7:20. Today at 2:20 p.m., you've got the Cardinals at Chicago. At 6:40 p.m., you've got the Diamondbacks at the Pirates. 6:40 p.m., you've got the Royals at the Tigers. 6:45, the Brewers at the Nationals. 7:05, you got the Blue Jays at the Yankees. At 7:10, the Orioles are still back in Cleveland. 7:10 tonight and is the Giants at the Reds, which will tomorrow night will be at that game. And Cincinnati watching the Giants and the Reds tomorrow night.
Right.
Then tonight at 8:05, you got the Red Sox at the Rangers. 8:10, the White Sox at the Twins. The Rays at the Astros at 8:10. At 9:38. I don't know why you got 9:38, but
Right.
but anyway, you got the Mets at the Anaheim Angels, or I mean I say Anaheim, it's Los Angeles Angels now. But and then the Rockies are at the Padres at 9:40. 9:40 the Dodgers at Athletics, and then 9:40 the Phillies will be playing in Seattle to play the Mariners.
That's how bad I don't watch baseball. I was like, the Angels left Anaheim. It's now
Yeah.
they're how
Well,
long they been in Los Angeles?
see, the thing is, I mean, growing up, us growing up, you had sports teams that switched so much. You look at the Chargers, used to be San Diego.
Yep.
Then you've looked at the Rams. They've
St.
changed, and then
Louis.
St. Louis back to Los Angeles, and then the Raiders used to be
Yeah.
Oakland, Los Angeles. Now they're in Las Vegas, which I doubt they'll leave Las Vegas now.
Yeah.
But and here's the standings right now as far as the NBA goes. I mean NBA, MLB goes in baseball. You've got these Orioles and Yankees are still tied at the top in the American League East at 65 and 45. The Red Sox are 6.5 behind them if they can make a run. Cleveland is a 6-game lead in the Central over the Royals. I got to root for those Royals because usually they stink it up, but they're 6 games behind. Houston and Seattle are tied in the West in first place. And the
They
Rangers,
still tied?
yep. But the Houston Astros are 56 and 52, and the Seattle Mariners are 57 and 53. So they got them tied. I don't see how they got them tied because the winning percentage goes Houston Astros way at 519 and then Mariners at 518. But then in the National League in the East, you've got the Phillies got a 6-game lead. I get that, 6 games. Braves has moved up. They were
Yep.
9.
Yep.
Now the Braves made a big trade right before the deadline the other day. They got a player. Maybe that'll help out. I can't. I ain't kept up with it to see who it is. But the Phillies are 65-43 leading that division, and the Braves are 6 games behind them. Milwaukee's still leading the Central at 61-47. The Cardinals are 5.5 games behind them, and those Reds are out of the race. They'd have to come on a hot streak. They're 9 games. So, and then in the East, in the West, Los Angeles. Now get this: the Padres are creeping on up. They're only 4.5 games behind the Dodgers.
Huh.
The Dodgers are 63-46, and that rounds out for the standings right now for Major League Baseball. And like I said, here in another month, that's when you're going to start seeing some play going on with the pennant race and teams trying to make that push, trying to make that run. And let's see where our buddy Judge is at right now. He's still sitting on them 39 home runs.
Okay.
And he's still sitting on those 99 RBIs. But and let's see. Now, Eli De La Cruz has got 55 stolen bases, so he's moving up. So that's what we have right now as far as baseball goes. And there ain't much going on as far as the NBA and basketball and the women's NBA because the women's NBA is idle right now because of the Olympics.
Right. Yep.
So, and then they'll get back to play. And if I'm not mistaken, September starts their playoffs.
Yeah, that'd be about right. September starts. Their playoffs, their whole championship should be over by the time NBA actually starts playing their regular season.
Yeah, it will. It will be. It'll be done. And now I guess with that being said, we'll move into the sport that we know more. We know a little more about. Yeah, it got kicked off last night. I didn't watch it because none of the starters are playing. So
Yeah.
the Bears and Houston kicked off last night as the Hall of Fame game. It's an extra game for both of those teams. Everybody else will be playing 3 games. They got that extra game, so that's the reason why Caleb Williams wasn't on the field. That game was shortened because of weather. The Bears won 21-17. I just a minute ago pulled up to see the new kickoff strategy. For most, probably going to hate it, but what I've seen of it, I think I'm going to like it. It's better than kicking it through the end zone out of bounds every time, because I think it'll give a little more opportunities possibly for a return.
Right.
Um, so
My
because
thing is, what they could have did just leave it right. They should have never moved it up. They used to kick it off on the 35, but then they moved it up to the 40. That's why all those was going out the end zone. They
I
want
think
some returns. They should move
yeah,
it back to the 20.
they moved it from the 30 to the 35, wasn't they?
No, it got moved up to the 40. Is what they was kicking from the 40.
Um, so I think it'll bring back more of the return, a chance for a return anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Um, so and their purpose of doing that is to take away the big hits, but you didn't have no big hits with the new when they moved it up because everybody was kicking it in the end zone.
Yeah, it was. You rarely seen a return. It was always started from the 25.
Yeah, and here's my thing though now, which to me, all right, you can't do a onside kick until the fourth quarter, and you
Yep.
got to be losing. If I'm not mistaken, you have to be
Yes, you have
losing
to be losing.
to
If you
get.
are the winning team, if you're ahead, you cannot do the onside kick.
So, um, but the thing is, for the most part, everybody knew an onside kick was coming. For
Yeah.
the most part, so I think we'll see how it pans out. I think it'll work out pretty good. I think you'll. I think we'll see. My guess right now with the new kickoff, if they stay with it all year, I think we could possibly see three, maybe four return for touchdowns.
Okay.
That's my guess on the year. So,
Right.
because it gives you a shot now, at least gives you a shot.
I
And
have mixed emotions about the whole way they doing the kickoff thing. It's just like because let's just say, all right, you coaching one team, I'm coaching the other team. I lost the toss, so you getting the ball. But I might want to be a butthead. I might want to
I
be any
know,
other game.
I
I might
know.
want to just do an onside kick and try to.
That's it. Yeah, I know what you're saying. And there's no sneaking, no onside kick.
Yeah.
Which, and the majority of the time, you every now and then you'll see a onside kick that's sneaked, but very seldom. Most of the time they line on up as an onside formation.
Hmm.
Um, and I don't understand cool beans when I was growing up. You know, technology was just starting to get in with the video games and everything else.
Right.
But I loved sports. So I'd go outside. I couldn't get my brother to play much. He wanted to go do his own thing, so I go outside and I baseball and football. I'll be practicing by myself. I learned how to switch hit baseball just by playing out in the yard as a little boy, throwing it up, hitting it myself. Football, I had a football and a tee, and I don't understand how these kickers. I could get that ball to kick when I was just practicing onside kick because I was bored.
Hmm.
At that 10-yard mark, every time I could get that ball to pop up 8 to 10 foot in the air. It took that high hop like you want it every time. And I got that down pat, and I'm thinking, these are professional kickers. How come they can't get that down?
Because it's not in the script. In the script, it says mess up. It says mess up kick.
I could kick that thing every time, and it's going to take that. I got to where it would take that hop at either between that 8 and 9, almost at the 10-yard mark. That thing will shoot straight up, and I'm like, it take that high hop that you need, and I'm like, man, I didn't even kick in high school though. But I'm like, how come these pros can't get that? I mean, it's like I could get it almost every time. But yeah, it's I think I'm excited to see how it works. So I like to see some of them run backs, them
Right.
them long run backs and everything else. When they took that away when they moved the ball up and everything else. But in that game last night, it was shortened and everything. Um, Ripping for the Bears threw 3 touchdown passes. It was looking there at the stats and everything else, and that being Hall of Fame night, you
Right.
still got that list there.
Yes, I do.
We had
I
some
totally forgot about that. Greg,
now
glad you brought that up.
Dwight Freeney. Everybody, I remember him because
Yep.
I pulled for Peyton and the Colts there for a stint. I like Peyton Manning, but Dwight Freeney, man, he was a freak. That dude, he was tough.
He was. And then we had our man Devin Hester.
Ah, probably one of the best return men that there was.
Yep. And
And
then after that we got Andre Johnson. He was now I was about to say Houston Rockets. But
Houston Texans
yeah, Texans when they first came out, he was their
receiver, was he receiver?
yeah, he was their number one receiver.
Yeah, I
He
remember him.
carried him all the way through before and he was there before Hopkins got there.
Yeah, yeah.
And we have Julius Peppers for the Carolina Panthers. And like I said, the one that threw me a loop was that Patrick Wills for
For the 49ers.
49ers.
Yeah, that one there threw me for. I mean, I ain't seen his stats, but he's in the Hall of Fame as well.
Right. I put on the Facebook page those that got snubbed and like him being on there, I was like a lot of the people that got snubbed, I'm like, why is he there? And like Darren Woodson didn't make it.
Man,
I mean,
Darren's still not in there.
still not in there. And
Wow.
I'm like Patrick Willis, he's in there. And I'm like, he went to the Super Bowl, but they lost. Darren Wilson got 3 Super Bowl rings.
That's crazy. Who
Then we
else got
had
snubbed?
a Randy Gradisher. He's before my time. He's one of the Purple People Eaters that got traded to Denver somewhere in the 70s. Got traded to Denver, and then from there they had created the Orange Crush. And I was like, that's a little bit before me. Now this dude, the next dude, the last dude, Steve McMichael. He's one I should know. I was like, oh, I don't know who this dude is, but this came around right when I started first watching football. He was on that '85 Bears team, the Shuffling Crew. We are the
Oh,
Bears,
yeah.
Shuffling Crew.
Yeah.
He played on the defense,
Oh, okay.
and I was like, no, I do not know this dude at all. And
That's when
they
they
said,
had. That's when they had Fridge, William Perry
yeah.
too. Yeah, that was a team there.
And the bad part is, I can go at this list and say, let's count all the ones who got Super Bowl rings because, like, Derek Woodson didn't get on there. But you got Dwight Freeney got a Super Bowl ring,
Yep.
none for Hester, none for Andre Johnson, none for. Wait a minute. I think Julius Peppers got one because
With
I
Carol.
know he got traded to Green Bay. And
Now
I
he
think he
played.
was on Green Bay when Aaron Rodgers got that ring.
He played for the Panthers too, didn't he?
Yeah, he started with the
With the
Panthers,
Panthers.
but he got traded to Green Bay later on in his career, and I think he was on that Green Bay team that won that. And this Randy Gradisher, we know, even though he's with the Purple People Eaters, they lost four Super Bowls. And then he got traded. It was to Denver. They became the Orange Crush, but they ain't win no Super Bowl till Elway got there later, and it was later on in Elway's career.
It was. It was at the. He finished 38 and 39 years old. He won back-to-back Super Bowls and retired.
Yep.
And that's how you do it. You go off. You go off on high and leave. He's like, I'm done.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm out of here. Oh man. Let's see. I'm not seeing anything on. Let's see. Now he didn't get a Super Bowl ring.
He didn't. Okay,
No.
so he didn't make it. He must have got to Green Bay after
So
that run.
no, he didn't make it. And I remember him playing in Carolina. He was tough. And everything. And since while we're talking with we're here in the NFL, we got all these contracts going on, throwing money around left and right,
Oh yeah.
like it's growing on trees. You had Jordan Love last week get his big contract. Who else? Was there another one?
Tua got 212.
Tua got his, and the thing is, we've done talked about, and the one that threw you for a loop and that just blows your mind, and was the Trevor Lawrence ordeal.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what's now? I'm trying to pull something up here. This is off of ESPN, a comparison, and let's see what we got. All right, they had a comparison of stats. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
here's Trevor Lawrence. They had Trevor Lawrence's first 48 career starts. All right, he had went. His record was 20-28 with a completion percentage of 63.8. He threw for 12,204 yards. He had 66 touchdowns, 55 turnovers, and points per game was 20.3. All right, and he signed that big contract of what, 200 and what was it?
I think his was 270 million.
All right. And they had a comparison to this next player. I ain't gonna mention his name. All right, and his first 48 starts, he was 19 and 29, one game different, 63% completion rating. Total yards was 12,014, which Trevor had 12,204. He had two less touchdowns with 64, the same amount of turnovers at 55, and points per game was 19.6.
That's Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones, and he is only making all right. Trevor, I think Trevor equals to 52 to 55 million a year, and Daniel
Uh-huh.
Jones is only 40. So how do you set the bar as far as paying a quarterback?
I know,
As
because like
I mean,
you
you
have
can't go
one
by.
mediocre quarterback, and then you got this other mediocre quarterback. And you're like, hey, I'm just as mediocre as him. He's making 15 more million a year than I am.
Now, I will say this: I think Trevor by far has a stronger arm than Daniel Jones. Um, but then you look at Patrick Mahomes, who's the fifth highest paid quarterback, which they asked him the other day, which he stayed humble like he always does, if he was underpaid, and he said no. He said, "I'm not underpaid. I'm fine where I'm at." And but he's got 3 Super Bowl rings. He's done played in 4 Super Bowls, and you got these other quarterbacks. They're paying big money. But the thing is, if you want to keep in a team in contact, I mean, together to make a run and after year, I mean, you're going to have to share that money elsewhere, you know.
Hmm.
So, and Patrick Mahomes knows that. Um, and besides football, he's going to make his money elsewhere outside with endorsements and commercials, and he's all
Yeah,
over commercials. So he's going to get his money elsewhere, you know. Um, but when you pay that big money to these quarterbacks, you're taking away from other players, keeping them together. Um, and that's the reason why Reed left the Chiefs there, that cornerback. But you know, it's just, I mean, it's a business thing, and you can see, and I can see, I know, yeah, these players make a lot of money. You know, people looking from the outside, man, I agree. I mean, that's a lot of money to be making to be playing a game.
yep,
Um, and that career is very short, so
true.
at sometimes I can see them going after the money, trying to get what they can and everything else. But the money has ruined sports altogether as far as building dynasties or trying to keep a championship team together.
But that's the thing. That's the thing that gets me. Since when do you reward mediocrity? Because here it is, like this. Let's take with Daniel Jones' contract. Now he's getting all this extra money. They ain't winning no games. So the owner to set that out, to balance that out, they got to charge more for tickets. My thing is, why would I pay for a ticket as a average consumer? Why would I pay for a ticket when I know you're gonna lose the game?
That's
You
it.
you have no chance of winning.
Well, you seen that in Carolina last year. You know what their tickets got down to?
I think it
Carolina,
was $11. Was
it
it?
was $11, $12 for a ticket, and you could have got a good ticket for like 40 or $50 because they couldn't get nobody to come to the stands. I mean, they couldn't fill the stands.
Exactly. They
Now,
couldn't fill the stands.
now, all right, I'm getting ready to go in November to Carolina to watch the Chiefs play.
Hmm.
I didn't buy my tickets yet because you know why? They got them overpriced right now because they're getting
Oh, they
ready.
did?
They got. I'm gonna wait till they start losing, and the
Uh-huh.
Carolina is they're going to be. They may win 2 or 3 more games than they did last year. I'm gonna wait till about October, and then prices are going to come down because they're not filling the stands again to get my tickets. But the thing is, I mean, in Carolina, it just got the money to do a renovation on a stadium that a team is they're not doing good right now.
Exactly.
So I mean, and the prices jump. Everything that's like in college sports too is football. All right, I'm going to three West Virginia games this year. You're going to be going with us one of them.
Hmm.
Um, if you get your tickets at the start of the season, it can go either way. say for instance, we bought the tickets before season, which I told the guys that's going with us. I said, man, I said we may need to get them now because West Virginia I think is going to do pretty good. But if they start winning and they start getting ranked, then the ticket prices go up. So it's depending on how the team is doing. It fluctuates with the ticket prices.
Right, exactly.
Um, and then what we talked about the other night, on my last night at work, um, is one thing I hate that they've changed since we was growing up. Before you used to call the stadium and get your tickets. Well, now you got a middleman that sells the tickets for these games, and they're charging you a processing fee that is as much as an is costs as
It's
much to get
almost a ticket.
another ticket. I thought
Exactly.
it's like you can't get them from the stadium no more. You got to go through Vivid Seats, all these different middleman. You got tickets.com. I've got them all the apps downloaded, trying to find the cheapest route to go. So because their processing fee is it's outrageous. I don't know what the price is. For instance, that game that we were going to, each ticket was $70 per ticket to process it, and all it's doing is sending it to your phone.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like this is ridiculous. You got Ticketmaster as well. You got Geek Seat. There's another one. You got there's all kinds of venues you can go through to get tickets, but it's just outrageous their processing fee. By the time, for instance, for like if four of us go, just say we spend $600 to go to a game and ticket prices, then you're paying $300 for the processing fee.
Yep.
It's like outrageous. It's ridiculous. But and that goes back to supply and demand. Well, it took away the responsibility, I guess, for the stadiums having to worry about the tickets. We're going to
Right,
lose.
because the agency buys all the tickets. That way they can,
They just worry about them getting them out, and that takes less responsibility on the people in the stadiums and stuff. But I mean, but that man you're talking about, you got the middleman you got to pay to get that ticket, and there's no, as far as I know, there's no way to eliminate the middleman to get the ticket. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, well, the prices that they have and everything else. But we got the preseason getting ready to kick off as well. For the rest of the teams coming, is it this weekend or next weekend? Ain't it? Next weekend, yeah,
next weekend, yeah.
next weekend to watch. And the thing is, with the preseason, you can go to them games for cheap, dirt
Mhm.
cheap. I mean, $30, $40, $20, depending. Um, but who wants to go watch a bunch of backups that's trying to make it?
Right. And half the people that's playing ain't gonna even be there during the year. So
No, no. And then one other thing I want to mention before we're getting down close on time here, um, is Hopkins got hurt the other day and will be out for
four to
4 to 6
6 weeks.
weeks. And I say that's the thing. That's the thing too. You talk about making another, like, as far as the Chiefs trying to make a third run, which I think if the biggest thing is injuries, staying healthy. If they can stay healthy, I think they'll make that run. But that's staying healthy. Um, they got the key players on the offense now. They've got receivers, and since Rasheed Rice is not going to be suspended, you got that rookie tight end Wiley, who's doing well in practice. So he's got more. That's what I know. It's hard, and it all depends on injuries. But he's got more weapons this year than he did last year, as
Yep.
far as receiving goes to make it. So I don't see why they can't make that push to it to try to make a three-peat. But we'll see with that. But it's just always comes down to injuries. Um, but I don't know if any more news that coming out right now.
Oh, we did remember when we said Michael Gallup retiring. We was gonna mention that.
Yeah, you did say I didn't know he did. You said he gave it up, which and that's like I don't know. I mean, he had a couple good games with Dallas. when he was
Hmm.
in Dallas. But you got to look too. Dallas was loaded with receivers on that roster. Um, I mean, they had receivers everywhere to throw to because you had Lamb, you had Gallup, you had
Cooks.
Cooks. Then they have a receiver, Austin, maybe Austin, or
No, Austin was already gone.
he was already gone. Okay,
Yeah.
but it was loaded with receivers. So I mean, if he would go somewhere else, maybe on a team that he could probably may be a little more. Hey, Buffalo needs a receiver.
Right. Well, when Dallas released him, he did go to Pittsburgh. He tried out there. I just think that he had them two. I guess his ACL is the knee. He did that twice. He had blown both of those knees and had those repaired. And I guess he just don't have the step that he used to when he was younger.
And then we was mentioning something, and I can't remember what it was now before we got on because you was mentioning what was it, Josh Allen, and who was
Oh, the training camp. And training camp, when training camp started, how many interceptions did they had? Caleb Williams only had two interceptions through training camp. Now this is just training camp. This ain't the OTAs when he threw them four interceptions in that one day. But this during training camp, he only had two. Josh Allen had six, and Lamar Jackson had seven. But like you said, they're playing against a lot better defenses in Buffalo and in Baltimore than they are in Chicago.
yeah they are, and I still I mean what Chicago opens up with Tennessee. Did we say Tennessee?
Oh, and
Yes, they.
Hopkins is out. So,
But my thing is, let's see how Tennessee if they get to Caleb. They're going to blitz him,
mhm,
and we'll see how he does under pressure because I don't think he's that great of a. I mean, by seeing him in college, when it comes to pressure, he don't do too well. The
yeah.
games that I watched and he lost in, but we'll get ready to wrap this up because we're getting out of time. And like we always do at the end of each and every episode, we always like to let our veterans know if you're thinking about hurting yourself or you can always call that quick number
That.
988.
Mhm.
That's the Veterans Crisis Hotline, that's on the bottom of the screen as well. It's 1-800-273-8255. Always keep in contact with your battle buddies, your friends. If you notice any behavior that's unusual, talk to them. And like we always say, you can go to your local VA medical center. They have people on staff there 24/7. Even if you think, well, it's nighttime, nobody's going to be there, they have someone on call. You just go there, they'll get them in, and they'll get you taken care of. But don't be afraid to take that step, to call, to talk to somebody, um, because I mean it does make a difference. Whether people realize it or not, you may think it's crazy to talk about or have that pride to take that first step, but you need. I mean, it's something you need to do. Take that first step. Talk to somebody. Because if you keep holding all that stuff in, it don't go well. But you got anything, Cool Beans?
Nope. I think we hit everything that I wanted to get on today.
Oh, I will mention this. Are we still going live Tuesday at 11?
Tuesday at 11,
Yeah, Tuesday at 11. I
and
think
then next Saturday we should be back to our 9 o'clocks.
we'll be back to 9 o'clock next Saturday. Only reason being is tomorrow I'll be in Cincinnati taking the family to the Reds game. So that's the reason we done this today. Um, but I think that's about it. So y'all have a good Friday and a good weekend, and we'll see you Tuesday morning live at 11 a.m.
Alrighty.
Y'all take care.